Hi everyone, I want to show you my new reading shirt. I don't know if you can see this. I really like it. I also want to update you on how my reading month is going. I've only finished 3 books so far. That doesn't feel like a lot to me, but these books have required more note-taking than some other books I've read recently. So they've taken me longer to get through. The first one is The Lavender Scare, The Cold War Persecution of Gays and Lesbians in the Federal Government by David K. Johnson. I won't go into a lot of detail here because I think I'll do a review video on it. Suffice it to say, it's worth reading if you need a nonfiction book for Pride Month for this year or next. And then the second book I read was The Once and Future Sex, Going Medieval on Women's Roles in Society by Eleanor Janega. This was this month's Historathon book. Janega's book is one that I can only talk about in general terms because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. It goes into great detail about how medieval people, mostly men, thought about women's beauty standards, sexuality, and women as workers. I'll give a few details. Unlike today, medieval people favored pear-shaped women. They valued women as workers and thought of women having trades as barely worthy of comment. That's not to say that women faced no discrimination, however. They did then and do today. Medieval people's ideas about women largely came from classical Greek and Roman sources, who were not the best sources of information on women or medicine. No surprises there. Many ideas about women were truly bizarre by modern standards, but I'll leave you to read those by yourself if you desire. When women and men interpreted the same biblical or classical texts, they interpreted them very differently. Men interpreted them in much more anti-feminine ways than women did, but women mostly lacked access to the conversation about their own nature because they were barred from universities. The third book I read was Queen of the Negro Leagues, Effa, Manley, and the Newark Eagles by James Overmyer. This was my summer of sport book for the month. Many sports books are about men, and I wanted to make sure that I read at least one book about a woman. Effa and Abe Manley co-owned the Newark Eagles, a black baseball team before integration. Effa was a strong woman in a man's world. I'd like to do a review video on that book too, but I'm not sure I can capture the blunt woman that she was. Besides the books I finished, I'm reading Aloha, Rodeo by David Wolman and Julian Smith. It's about 3 Hawaiian cowboys who faced racism at the Cheyenne Frontier Days in the early 1900s and emerged champions. It's supposed to be like Boys in the Boat, but make it rodeo. So far, it's well written. It gives adequate background, the narrator is good, I like it. I'm in the middle of the last book of the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. I've been putting it off until I get more of my nonfiction read. Also, my youngest brother has decided to read The Goblin Emperor by Katherine Addison on my recommendation. At some point, I need to read Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson on his recommendation. Anyway, he started The Goblin Emperor yesterday, so did I. If rereading it throws off my project for the month, so be it. It'll be fun to buddy read something with my brother for the first time. If I do read a book for my project this month, it might be a different one than planned. Besides that, I still need to get to the children's books, sports books this month, but I don't think that will be a problem. On the subject of my project, I feel like I might need to make a change. I've liked getting to know one period at a time, but I also feel like it's intense and it burns me out. I'd like some room to mood read within American history. I know the general outline, but maybe at some point I could read a few books that dive into the general outline from a different perspective. I found one from an Indigenous perspective, one from a Hispanic perspective, one from a Chinese perspective, and 2 from the general white perspective. For Black History Month, I'd like to be able to pull whatever I like from Black American history I might like to read whatever is included in the Audible Plus catalog. I'd like to get to some of the books I bought. I'm not sure how this will all work, but I'm not sure I'll be reading entirely in order from now on. I hope your reading month is going well. Bye for now.